I'm Sam Norman, born and raised in Fergus Falls. Grew up here my whole life and went through high school here and then went to college here for my first 2 years of college at M State. Then continued on to get a Bachelor's of Fine Arts degree from MSUM Moorhead. From there I went and did a residence study for a couple months in North Carolina, and then I was going to go on to grad school following into ceramics, but just some life things happened and I ended up back in Fergus, which was one of the greatest things that I thought could have happened for me. I think my parents kind of figured I was going to go down an art path for a career, and they were very supportive of it all through growing up years. I got in trouble younger doing graffiti around town. This was like a big point in my art career. By the cops, they had caught me and a couple buddies spraying graffiti, and my dad, who understood I should get in trouble for that, but still wanted me to do graffiti if I wanted to be doing that. And he had just had a nice big shed built at his house, and he let us spray paint that with graffiti, which back then I was like, oh, this is cool. He's just going to let us do it. But now that I have my own house and shop, I realized like how cool that was that he still let me experience doing graffiti and kind of terrorize his own property. But as for clay, I honestly never really dabbled in clay or was interested. I was more of a drawer, painter, illustrator. And I'm pretty sure I accidentally ended up taking Lori Charest Intro to Pottery class when I was in college out here. I was just trying to fill my schedule with one more class, and I wanted something in art, and the only thing that was available was Intro to Ceramics with Lori. And I kind of remember the first 2 weeks, I was like, I'm not interested in this, I just want to draw stuff. But quickly, obviously, that took a turn through her teaching and freedom with the class and working with clay. It became like my next love in art. And I pursued that heavily for the next 6 or 7 years of my career. This right here, Woven Tower, it was pretty much one of my first assignments with Lori, I believe. It was like a slab built sculpture. And this is not the one I started with. My mom still has the first one. When she gave us a project, I made a really simple, basic, like family sculpture thing. It said family on it in a nice script, but I turned that in and Lori told me I didn't try hard enough. I was trying to blend a bunch of different like styles of working with clay in here. So I was exploring a lot of like the glazes, which later on in my pottery career, glazing was like my number one thing to study, how things change in the kiln and everything. So this was probably one of my first experiences like striking that passion of studying glaze. So I wanted some different textures. So you have like the rough edging on the outside of it and then like a nice smooth glossy glaze to kind of contrast each other. And I'm pretty sure I was playing with the idea of like something that was really wobbly and looked like it was going to fall, but was like structurally sound. And I was trying to build it as tall as I could at that point, which then was pretty tall. But now that I knew more about clay later, it was still a pretty small sculpture. Warren Olson was like one of my biggest inspirations in the art world. He would tell me about all the paintings. We would make it down a hallway in like 30, 45 minutes because we had to stop and look at everyone and listen to the stories. And that was a pivotal point in my art career. When he decided to buy this, like one of my very first projects, it was kind of like a humbling experience in my career to like make art and sell it, and you can be like a career artist. And I don't know if he ever knew that. I don't know if we talked about that, but that was like a very standoff point in my career to like just become a fully working artist from Warren. And then another piece I have out here in the collection is called Rolling Hills. It's a pretty large throne on the potter's wheel vase. And that was created at MSUM during my Bachelor of Fine Arts year. So I was building a group of artwork, kind of developing my thesis for the end of the year. So those two like purchases, which were probably brought on solely by him, were huge steps in my career of becoming a full artist. I was studying so hard in ceramics and pottery and had a fully functioning studio after college, and I always had this back idea to tattoo, and I was always back and forth, should I do pottery, should I tattoo? And then I got back into the tattooing, and now that took over, and now I'm at a weird point in the career where tattooing full-time at the Beehive Tattoo Parlor in Fergus. And now I'm on the other end of it where I want to get back into like doing pottery on the side. So both careers kind of flip-flopped, where I'm doing one full-time and dreaming of the other, and now I'm doing the other one full-time and kind of dreaming of the other in the background. So hopefully in the future I'll be able to maybe blend the two together, or be able to have like a hobby shop at my house where I'm making ceramics again. But for now it's full-time, probably more than full-time tattooing. But the pottery and the studies in art was a huge benefit going into the tattoo career. Studying at a college level really helped the drawing and composition, and dealing with artwork as a whole was very beneficial.